Now, have you noticed some people can walk into a room, complain throughout, and leave? They complain about the economy, complain about their family, complain about their jobs, complain about the weather, complain about government, about circumstances, and everything there is to complain about. And after all the complaints, nothing changes, nothing happens. So here's a question for everyone today. What if complaining isn't expressing frustration, but is limiting access? Do not grumble or murmur as they that were complaining, as they did and were killed by the destroyer. And we remember the story of the Israelites in Egypt who complained against Moses, complaining about God, and how God elongated their journey from 40 days to 40 years. So complaining became a language that limits access and limits blessing. Now, compare this with the story of Joshua and Caleb. They saw the same giant, they walked through the same land, they faced the same obstacles. The difference wasn't just what they saw, their perspective. It was that they magnified what they saw and prevented their access into the promised land. Then consider Nehemiah. When he heard that the walls were in ruins, he didn't spend time complaining. He didn't complain about the government, about failed generation, or national decline. Rather, he prayed, he planned, he sought permission, he organized people. In 52 days, the walls were restored, challenges notwithstanding. Now, he understood that complaining doesn't bring results, but responsibility does. And history teaches us the same lesson. In 1940, Winston Churchill acknowledged the danger, but he refused to let despair become his language. He rallied people towards courage, sacrifice, and took action. So leadership is not just pretending the crisis does not exist. It is refusing to let complain be the only response. So complaining is not the problem. Allowing it to be your prison is where the true problem lies. And this is not that we should not acknowledge that there are problems, but take responsibility and initiative with action towards solving them. And in the business world, James Dyson failed countless times while developing his bagless vacuum cleaner. 5,000 prototypes was a good reason to complain and stop. But rather than, oh, this isn't working, he asked, what is this teaching me? And what do I need to do better? So in our world today, when people continually focus on what they cannot control and believing that nothing can be done or lend to prayer only is a wrong mindset. And in psychology, we call this learned helplessness, a state where complaining not just becomes a habit, but an identity, where there is no other way to think. All observation identifies just problem without solution in view. Wisdom always pursues solution. Personally, I don't enjoy or like to have conversations with people that focus only on problem. In short, every conversation I'm having, as long as there is a problem statement, there must be a solution in view. So if we're going to discuss a problem, I expect a solution in view. So when someone complains and say, oh, my business is not moving, sales is not doing well, my question is, so what have you tried? What are you currently doing? Why is this not working? And then feasible solutions, not just ranting. A good example, Nigeria is not working. Nigeria is corrupt. Lack of power supply, lack of water supply, bad roads, bad governance. What are you doing about it? First, have you collected your PVC? And how are you contributing to better leadership? If corruption is everywhere, how are you practicing integrity? If ignorance is increasing, who are you mentoring? Who are you teaching? If insecurity concerns you, what ideas are you suggesting or supporting that could strengthen your community, your state, or the country as a whole? So even when we cannot solve problems immediately, we can still develop a solution-conscious mindset, because every contribution is what changes history. So this week I challenge you and I encourage you. Take one complaint that you've repeated over and over again and replace it with one practical solution or one practical action that can take you out. And it all starts with one conversation, one plan, one decision, one solution. Just think of something, complain less and think more, because complaining is easy, but responsibility and action is where access lies. So you've been blessed. Share this and be a blessing. And as a matter of fact, this should get to every Nigerian. Go get your PVC.